Hello my fellow book lovers and welcome back to my channel. As I've mentioned previously, one of my goals this year is to start reading more of my physical TBR because there's a lot, okay, and there's even more here where like Pucky is sitting. I've just got a lot of books. I need to read more of my physical TBR and not read so much on my Kindle. Not that I don't love it, I do, because I absolutely love that. It's getting a little much. I'm not allowed to buy any more books because I have too many, even though I really want to. For me to be able to do that again, I do have to read them off of here, okay? So what we're gonna be doing today is we're going to be reading the highest rated book on my TBR and the lowest rated book on my TBR. I have not looked at the results for this yet, okay? I have actually put every single book that is on my physical TBR. There's all of these here on these shelves, as well as there's some up here, into my Goodreads app, and we'll have to sort them to see which is my highest rated and my lowest rated book. So let me pull up my Goodreads to see which one do we want to do first, okay? Because I don't know. I get like, I know I'm gonna read the lowest rated book first, okay? I also have 70 books on my TBR. That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna see what my, okay, so I'm under my physical TBR. As you can see, all of these books on my physical TBR. So let's see. Let's do average rating. Let's try that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're at our highest rated right now, okay? And actually the highest rated book on my Goodreads right now is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. That's actually crazy because I know this book is so incredibly sad, but it looks like we're doing it. I have been putting this book off for so long because I know it's sad. Oof, okay, we can do it. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna do this. Okay, and let's see what our lowest rated book is then. Ooh, okay. Honestly, I'm not too mad. It is Never by Jessa Hastings. This is a book I've actually bought. Okay, if I can get it off my shelf. This is actually a book I've had for quite a while, and I bought solely because, first of all, I love Peter Pan. That is my favorite Disney classic movie of all time. And first of all, the cover is so beautiful. Like, just like the watercolors and everything like that, like was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read it. So here we are. Interesting. What we got, like we got two nice like books here that I've actually been wanting to read. I've just been putting them off because I've been nervous about them. My highest rated book and my lowest rated book on my TBR. Honestly, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited. I'm gonna start with my lowest rated book, which is Never by Jessa Hastings. Obviously, I'm gonna start reading this, I think maybe tonight. And let's see, how many pages is this? It's less than 400, so that's good. But she's bigger than the average book, like this, like size comparison. She's a little taller, so she's got more words per page, I assume. And the words are not big. And then Rebecca's words again are not big. Not big on this. And this book is 424 pages. You know what's crazy? The little excerpt for Fourth Wing in the back of this book. Now that we know my highest and lowest rated book on my Goodreads, let's get to reading. Okay, so I'm 4 chapters in now. I'm on page 56 of Never, and honestly, like, it's really not bad. Like, it's cute. I think, like, because I personally just, like, love Peter Pan so much that, like, I think it's cute. And so far, it's, like, weird. So Daphne is older in this one. So basically what happens is, like, Daphne is, like, is one of the Darling girls, right? So, and every Darling girl has been taken to Neverland by Peter, but Peter seamlessly forgets her, and she's 17 years old when Peter comes for her. But when Peter comes for her, Peter is now also older, which is probably why, like, he didn't come for her at the same time he came for, like, her mom and her grandmother. But yeah, it's kind of, like, weird to explain because, like, in this one, it's obviously a much darker tone of what's going to come and what's going to happen. Wendy also meets Hook, and Hook is not the same Hook as, like, what her mother and grandmother had known. Hook is like his like it's his son now. So she meets him, and then she's also like almost like taken, not like taken in that way, but she's almost like she like kind of likes him. And she also like has this weird liking for Peter, even though Peter is like a dick, you know what I mean? Like he's like thinks like so highly of himself and thinks that he's like the best and like everything about him, and he's very possessive, Peter. So it's very weird. You can kind of see the darker tones of the book of what's gonna happen. I kind of like it. Like she literally in this last chapter, it was so funny. So it's obviously not like a YA type of book that she's written here. She literally was like Peter was like, oh well, you'll live here with me, and then she's like, well, where will I sleep? And he's like, with me. She's like, well, what will their neighbors think? Because this takes place in 1967, I'm pretty sure. So she's like, what will the neighbors think? And they're like, what neighbors? And also like they don't know what she means by that, being like a man and a woman sleeping together in the same bed. They're just kind of like, they don't know about that. So she has to explain. So she like tries her hardest to explain sex to all of them. It was actually kind of funny. Very different take on it. It's going a bit slow though, but basically another thing that I wanted to point out is like Peter is very much like all girls, women are very taken with him and very much like in love with him in a sense for what we're getting here. Like he's very much like a womanizer in a sense. Like even though Wendy like kind of like doesn't like him, she can't help but feel like attracted and in a weird way like in love with him. She's explained it a few times on the page of like how she oddly like fell in love with him in this way, even though she knew she wasn't really in love with him. It was just like the way that he came off and like the way that like he makes them feel, and the way that he like compliments them and things like that. It's pretty interesting so far, honestly. I'm actually enjoying it. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, see what happens. This might be like a little like love triangle in a way, but like I said, remember Peter's like super possessive. Like he was just like, also in the very beginning of the book, like he had asked her if like she had held hands with another boy before. She said yeah, and he got very like, and she described like how his like features grew dark and how he just like shifted and changed like before her eyes. Like he's very like dark and possessive in that way, and asked what his name was and got very angry about it. He was like, oh, so you don't remember? And she was like, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna continue reading. Yeah, this next chapter is really long, but anyways, I'm gonna continue reading. I guess we'll see what kind of happens. It is the next night and I'm still reading Never. And how many pages in? I literally just got to chapter 6. I am exactly 100 pages in now. It's going good. Like I said, like I am a big fan of like Peter Pan, so I'm obviously really liking this book. I looked at some reviews yesterday and I tried to look at really like non-spoiler ones. People were hating on this book. Let me tell you, the amount of 1 stars I was seeing for this book is actually insane. But I'm enjoying it so far. The one thing I will say is like, it's so weird because the concept of time in this book, you don't really know. You don't really know what it, like how it works, because Wendy in the book, not Wendy, it's her name's literally not Wendy. Her name's Daphne. Daphne in the book is always like, I really don't know how many days I've been here. She goes, I think I've been counting like every morning when we wake up and we take our medicine, like type of thing, as well as when she like talks to some of the other characters, they're all like, oh, I don't know, like we don't, like I don't remember doing that, or like their sense of time, like their memory, they don't really remember. I don't know, it's like a weird thing, a weird concept that I'm not sure how it works. But I don't know if like everyone is like that, or if it's just like a few characters. Like with Peter, he was like, I don't remember, or he like forgets very easily. Like he forgets about Daphne, or he forgets about other people in the book, which is very strange. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I'm 100 pages in. I am obviously going to continue reading this tonight, and maybe I'll update you along the way. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think it's good so far, so I guess we'll see. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say though was Peter is like actually kind of the worst. It's like very known that Peter is the worst. Like she makes him kind of terrible in the book, right? But then like he does things that are very like swoon worthy, which show you obviously that Daphne is like has this weird like love for him, because I think that's just like the way like the magic in the book works. Like she's like, I think her family is like cursed, or like this is like what I'm thinking. I don't know if this is actually true. I think her family is like cursed loving Peter, and like so she like feels
feels this strange type of way in love towards him. And she even talks about all the time, he was just like, he did this thing, and if you had asked me if I hated him, I wish I could tell you no, because he's doing things that would like make a normal person like really hate him, and like she just can't. So it's so weird. But anyways, I'm gonna keep reading, and I guess we'll see how it goes. Bit of a reading update for you guys. So I am now on chapter 13, 225 pages into the book. The chapters in this book are extremely long, let me tell you, okay? Let me also just say, I am actually really enjoying this book. Like, I actually like find myself like still thinking about it, like when I'm not reading it and like really wanting to read it. I just think like the dynamic of the book is so interesting because obviously, like I said, I am a huge fan of Peter Pan. I feel like I am very biased to liking this book solely because of that fact. But now let me just say, I can 100% see why people are ripping on this book, okay? Like, I 100% can see why they do not like this, okay? There are some parts of it that, like, literally you just kind of have to, like, get through. Like, you just kind of have to, like, not think about it. Let me look, because I think Jessa Hastings is from the UK. Oh, she's an Australian. Weird. She's an Australian author. Oh, and lives in Tennessee now. Daphne loves toxic men. Let me just say that, okay? Daphne absolutely loves her toxic men, because tell me why and I totally understand like as to why some people wouldn't like this book, because she keeps going in circles with both Hook and Peter. And like, I don't know, like there's something that like one of the things that we just recently found out about Peter too was something that I had an inkling of, like thinking that was something that was going to happen. Like, I don't want to say it obviously, but I mean, I guess probably people don't care because they don't really like this book. So they probably wouldn't care if it's spoiled, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who maybe wants to read this. But no, so we just found out a bit of information about Peter, which makes a lot of sense into Peter's character. But then you find out as well that some other information on the island. I feel like it's just like this book is just showing different types of toxic relationships. I don't really know what else to say about it because truthfully, it really does follow like the main plot line of Peter Pan very closely. The only thing that's really that different is the fact that it's not Wendy, it's Daphne. Daphne is an only child. She's going there to be with Peter. Peter is older now. And the fact that like Hook is not actually Hook, like it's like Hook's son. I don't really know what else to say about it other than that. I am enjoying it. I really don't know what else to say. Like reading it, I'm just like, I'm actually like really into it. It's taking forever for me to read. There's about 375 pages in this book and I'm 225 in. So I'm almost there. Like I'm really not that far away. Like I'll probably end up finishing it today. That's my update. I totally can understand why people are literally ripping this book apart when I look at the Goodreads reviews. Okay. Totally understand. Because I feel like people go into this not really thinking that it's a fantasy, because it doesn't seem like a fantasy, but it is. Like there is a bunch of like magic systems in there too, and like the world is a little bit different, and there is like a little weird overarching storyline, but like it does get lost. Like it gets very lost in what Peter, Wendy, Hook love triangle thing that's going on, right? Like it gets very much lost in Daphne, because Daphne is kind of just like there. She's in this, I think it really shows that she's in between this age of being like a girl and a woman. Like I think that's really like the big point of it, is that she's between this like weird age of being a girl but also a woman, and like not knowing which way to go with that, being like, oh, do I want to stay like a girl, like do I want to become like a woman type of thing? I don't know, like become an adult, you know, like still be like a kid and an adult type of meaning when I say girl and woman, if that makes sense. You kind of just get lost in all of like Daphne's thoughts about Peter, and then thoughts about being in Neverland, and thoughts about Hook, and it's just like doesn't really like move the story along. It kind of just like talks about how she's feeling in the moment, and then like eventually you may get to the storyline. Like you just stumble upon it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna stop yapping so that I can continue reading because I want to finish this book today. Another update. I am 265 pages in now, chapter 16. I have no idea what she's trying to do with these characters. because literally she keeps alluding to this like, or trying to allude to this really big like thing in the plot with Daphne with some other information that we found out about like Peter and stuff. But literally I have no idea what is trying to do. Literally with every chapter that Daphne is either with Jameson, his name is, Hook, or Peter, they're fighting. Like literally always fighting. And it's like actual like toxic relationship fighting, like gaslighting and all of that stuff. Like it's very, very toxic. Like let me tell you, like, I don't know, because it's all like she shows you like the best sides of them, but then also like horrible sides of them all at the same time, right? So like an instance of like, well, this doesn't always happen, but like always in an instance where it's like Peter wrongs her, or like, you know, Peter, like, you know, is kind of just being the worst. She goes to Jameson, and then Jameson's all sweet and stuff like that. And then she gets in a fight with Jameson, and then Peter comes back, and Peter is literally like the best thing in the world. Like he's so sweet and amazing, and just like says the right thing because he's like a golden boy, you know, he's very much like has this charm, this boyish charm to him, stuff like that. But then when her and Peter fight, she runs to Jameson, like I said, and then Jameson is like suddenly the best thing in the world, you know, and then they fight, and it's like this endless circle of what's going on every single time. And I'm like, okay, what is going on here? What is happening? Why is this? What is happening here? It's almost like annoying at this point. Like I'm still gonna read because I actually want to know. Like there was this thing that did happen in the book where Peter was taking her somewhere to play this game that he called, right? He wanted to play this game with her. And then Peter's very forgetful. I don't exactly know like how it works, but like he is like in a sense like quote unquote boy when he, you know, is like a man, but he's also still a boy, right? So he's very forgetful. Like his mind wanders, he easily forgets things. So like he brought Daphne to this island to play this game. And then he forgot about her. The way that she got off the island, everyone was so curious about. Everyone was like, wait, how did you get back? Like, how did this happen? And da 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 da. And she's like over here, like explaining the story all nonchalantly. But then Peter is like looking at her strangely, and then anyone else she's telling the story to is like looking at her strangely, like how she did that. And I'm like, okay, so like what are you alluding to? Because like obviously the events that happened, like for her to get off the island, right? For her to get back didn't really make sense. It made sense in the moment, but like the way everyone's reactions to it was like obviously she was trying to allude to something within the plot. And I'm like, what are you alluding? Like I have an idea, but at the same time I'm like, what are you like what's going on? So anyway, I have about 100 pages left of this book. So I guess we'll see how it goes. For there to only be 100 pages left, I feel like we've just been going in circles, and that the plot is like, what's going to come in these next 100 pages? That like I feel like at a standstill right now within the plot. You know what I mean? Or like with all the characters of like everyone that she interacts with on the daily. You know what I mean? So yeah.
It is in fact the next day, and I have in fact finished Never by Jessa Hastings, and I just wanted to give you guys my final thoughts because truthfully I am so confused and conflicted in many ways, shapes, and forms, and I'm like, what the actual heck? First off, like, talk about, I did enjoy this book. Like, I did actually like it, and knowing now that it's like legitimately gonna be, or it's said to be a series, like she plans to make this a 3-book series, I'm pretty positive. But with the negative reviews that this got, I don't know how probable that is, which makes a little bit more sense for the ending, because if it had just ended like that, I would have been so livid, and that's part of me that like is like so conflicted and confused on like how I should feel about this book. So many people hated it. I didn't. I actually loved it. Like I kept saying throughout, you know, my time reading it, I am very biased because I personally love the original Disney Peter Pan. Just also to clarify, this is based off of the original Peter Pan, not the Disney version. So like I know like the original J.M. Barrie telling of Peter Pan, like I've read that before. I haven't read it in a really long time though, so I should have probably read it before I read this one because I can't remember exactly everything that is said in that book to like the dark lore that is in this, because this is like very much a darker tone of the story than I think that one leads on, right? So this one takes place years after like Wendy has been to Neverland, if that makes sense. So like years later, like Daphne is the granddaughter of Wendy. Even though Wendy's like never mentioned really in this book, she's talked about, but she's not like really mentioned as much as like one of the other grandmothers, Mary, who I'm pretty sure is like the first one that we like know of through Daphne's point of view that had gone to Neverland. So yeah, anyway, that's beside the point. The ending is what really did me in, really made me mad, and I was like, what the actual heck? Because okay, like literally like what is actually going on? All of the like Okay, so I don't even really know how to get into it without giving spoilers, because all the things that like make me angry and confused and like all about it, it would like be a spoiler. Like, so for me to like talk about it, it like doesn't make sense, because you're like, what do you mean? And it's because you haven't read it, so I don't want to give you a spoiler. Basically, I was left so confused and full of questions. Like, all my questions were not answered. Most of them weren't. I kept getting this like sense of like, ooh, we're gonna get like some really cool information and how it all, you know, goes back to Daphne and stuff like that. We got none of that. And then we got something random thrown in at the end. It made you hate one of the characters in the book. And I'm like, what the what? Like, it just like didn't make sense. And like a lot of my questions were not answered. I really thought we were gonna get so many answers, but it makes sense if there's gonna be more books that like she hasn't answered those questions yet. But it was like all of these things that kept popping up that she was alluding to in this book that we then got no clarification or answers on. Like, there was something else too that happened that I was like, okay, so what did it say? Like, why aren't you giving us this information? And then it was over. And I was like, okay, so like, where's the wrap up on some of this information? Unless I'm dumb and I missed it, but I was like, I'm almost positive I did not miss it. Like, what is actually happening? This book, if you take out the fantasy element and like the whole like Peter Pan Neverland like aspect of it, obviously this book is very much about like toxic and horrible relationships, how Daphne just wants to be loved and how desperately she wants that she'll go to anybody who can give her that, like give her that feeling. She just wants to be wanted and loved, and both of these men gave it to her, but in extreme different ways, and then like ripped it away without like a second thought, you know what I mean? Daphne is obviously this really young girl, so she's a very flawed character. They're all very flawed characters. I've never read a book by Jessa Hastings before, but she is notorious for writing like very imperfect, almost like horrible people that you can't help but love. So yeah, but I really did like enjoy the characters. I felt like for the original story and where she's at with this now, like it made sense. Like, she encaptured all of those characters so perfectly and put them into this book and put them into like not a different scenario, it's almost the same, but like really captured the essence of the characters and who they were originally, and now putting them into this book. There were things that I do have issues with and beef with that I will talk about just like briefly. There is the thing that a lot of people hate is like, and I did not like this at all either, was the like age gap between her and Jameson. Now the age gap itself is fine. It's just more of the age that she is when all starts to be explored, and it wouldn't have made it creepy if he didn't keep making comments about it. Yeah, so that's like one of my biggest issues with it. Also, the other big issues is the fact that they both treated her terribly, and how she just loved to be treated terribly by both of these men and kept bouncing back and forth between them. And I understand like her dilemma, because she really was like trying to figure out like why she had come here and like what she was meant to do. But then again, like in the story, it kept like almost like alluding to like her being a really big part of like Neverland and like what is to come. But then like none of the answers happened. I got none of the answers. So I'm like, okay, like maybe that's like for future books or something like that. I don't know. I think that's just the way it's meant to be, but I'm not sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like really discussing this very, very well. But like I said, like I think like the main thing I got out of this book was like that Daphne just so desperately wants to be loved. She's willing to be loved very horribly and toxically by these two men who seem to want her, and she doesn't know what she wants or like what she's meant to be doing, and she'll just take whatever she can get. I feel like I'm not describing this very well, but I think she does a great job of like making the characters true to who they genuinely are, especially from the original Peter Pan. I have it here, because Peter is like, he legitimately, even as the book describes, a man-child. You know, obviously in the books, he's a boy who doesn't grow up, and he still hasn't grown up in a sense, even though here he's grown up, like sticking true to being selfish and rude and, you know, basically being a like legitimately a boy, right? Hook is supposed to be this like man, and I think it's really a lot about like her fighting between like growing up to be this woman but also like staying young and like being a girl. Like I said, I very much enjoyed this book actually while I was reading it, but I just feel so confused and conflicted about like how I feel actually, because like I feel so angry at the ending, and I feel so angry that like she willingly was in these two toxic relationships with people who like literally treated her so poorly. So I don't know how I feel. I think I'm actually gonna give this, I think I'm gonna give this a 4 stars, honestly. Definitely is not as bad as like everyone has made it out to be. But like, it really, I just enjoyed it. It is a fantasy world. There's things that are obviously different than like our real world. And so I think if you just like put that aside and you kind of just like read it for what it is, like you can enjoy yourself. Like I very much enjoyed it. Like I literally like haven't stopped thinking about this book and like literally had dreams about it. Literally had dreams about it last night. So if that doesn't say anything, I'm gonna give it a 4 stars like right off the bat. I don't know, like we'll kind of see like how, if my rating changes or my opinion on the book changes or things like that. Hoping that there's gonna be another one, because now with the way that it ended, I'm like I gotta know the answers. Like I gotta know why this led to this at the end. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not necessarily mad about the ending. I'm just mad about the way that like we got to the ending. And it just like doesn't make sense to me. It just like doesn't make sense. Anyways, I've been yapping for too long about this. I'm gonna stop yapping. All right, you guys, I'm about to start The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. I got her downloaded on my Kindle. I feel like I read faster on my Kindle. She's a long book. Amount of pages wise, she's 415 pages. She's not that long, but like she's kind of thick. And then on Kindle, she's 428. So not bad. I was talking to one of my friends earlier. Hi, Kay. I know you're watching this. I was talking to Kay earlier about this book and she said that it was really sad. So I am not looking forward to that. But I'm bracing myself, okay? I'm bracing myself for the fact that it's gonna be sad and trying to prepare. I'm gonna read. I'll see you later. Hello you guys, it's the next day and I am currently 29% of the way through The Last Letter. I am gonna continue reading now actually, and hopefully I'll be able to like get a good chunk of this done today. Hopefully I can like maybe finish it. I don't think I'll finish it, but like I'm praying. I'm really hoping, okay? I am 125 pages into the book, and let me tell me why she had me basically almost in tears in the first 4 chapters. Like, this book is actually so sad. I think I highly underestimated the power that she has to destroy me as a person. Like, I genuinely think I underestimated that. So far, so good. I'm enjoying the characters so far. I don't know, like, because part of it doesn't feel like, because obviously I know it's like a contemporary romance, so like part of it doesn't feel like, not that it doesn't feel realistic. I don't know, actually. I don't know what it is. I'm liking it though and enjoying it. I just know that it's gonna be so sad. Like, I know that this book is gonna be so good, and that maybe like once I get to like the middle and like the actual romance part of it, it'll be super good, because as of right now, like there's no like legit romance happening. The romance was kind of just like a loose romance between the letters. So the 2 main characters, Beckett and Ella. Ella's a single mother and she's going through like a really tough time with her family. She doesn't have anyone really, and she really struggles with that, and she really struggles to ask for help. Same thing with Beckett. Beckett was in the military, and basically Beckett and Ella were pen pals in a sense. Ella's brother and him were in the same unit, so his brother or her brother kind of basically set her up to be like, hey, like I have this friend who I think could use someone to talk to, and Zoe's I guess kind of tried to get Ella with someone who he thinks that deserves her and like would treat her well and stuff like that. And I think this is his little way of like getting them together, knowing that he, like his best friend, genuinely needed someone to talk to that wasn't him, to have someone to get out and go to when he gets out of the army. But yeah, so basically a lot of the communication between them is between letters, and that's how you're kind of getting to know them and like the start of their romance. But then obviously something happens and Beckett ends up coming to town like he said he would, and he doesn't tell Ella who he is. So that's all the information I can give you. But yeah, so anyway, there's no like actual romance happening yet. Ella owns a like little ski lodge, not like, I don't know, it's like hard to explain. She owns like little lodges and like chalets that people rent obviously during the ski season. She owns one of those, and it's the off season right now, so he's renting one, and she thinks that he's just kind of like someone who's there, and he, you know, is kind of trying to be there for her in a way that she'll accept, because he knows her through the letters, like knowing that she wouldn't accept the help if it was offered in a different way. So yeah, that's basically how it's going right now. I'm really enjoying it, and I guess we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna continue reading it. I think I'm also, which I haven't done in so long, I haven't done this in forever, I think I'm gonna go do some cardio while I read, because obviously it's on my Kindle. This is a 26-minute chapter, so I think I'm just gonna go do some cardio, go read, stop yapping.
It's been literally hours since I've spoke to you last. I think last I spoke to you, I was about 30% into the book. I am now 66% into the book and on chapter 20. And we literally just jumped many months into the future. And I'm not going to lie to you, I am scared. I am a little worried, okay? Because they were in a good place. And now I am scared. For sure. Yep, okay. Because literally my friend read this book. Hey Kay, I know. I think I've said hi to you twice in this video now. Literally said to be prepared for anything. We want you to know I am scared. So I don't know what this is gonna entail. But anyways, let me update you a bit. It's going good, okay? I'm enjoying it thoroughly, even though it is sad. It's not currently as sad as I was anticipating. I think because I was anticipating for it to be so sad. Like, not that it's not, okay? Like, I don't want you to think that I'm just some emotionless woman, okay? Because it is very sad. But I think because I had lifted myself up, that's not the right word. I think because I anticipated so much, or anticipated how sad it was going to be, like mentally prepared myself for the sadness, that I'm not as sad as I could have been not knowing. So yeah, that's what's going on right now, okay? I'm chapter 20. I really want to finish this, or like at least get almost done with it tonight. It's only 9 o'clock, so I think I can be good. I can do something, right? So I'm just gonna read. Okay, you guys, it's a little while later. It's much later. It's 10:30 now, and I'm still reading. I'm 75% into the book. I ended up talking to my mom for like 30 minutes, so I am farther behind than I would like to be. But let me tell you, okay, so I just read this chapter, and I'm trying not to laugh because like it's not funny, but she's being actually so dramatic. Like low-key, the chapter I just read, chapter 22, okay, chapter 22. If you guys read this book, you know, chapter 22. She is being so dramatic right now. Like, I understand where she's coming from of like being upset and angry, but girly, honestly, I need you to take it down a notch, okay? I need you to take it down a notch because this is just so dramatic for no reason. Like, literally, what? Like, that annoyed me. Like, she just annoyed the heck out of me, okay? We're 75% in, so clearly have enough of the book left where I have, like, literally 100 pages left, you know? So, like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, I understand. I really do. Like, but, like, the whole thing that, like, happened with him that she is mad about, I'm like, okay, like, I understand. Like, I do get it from, like, but, like, come on. Like, it's been a long time, and, like, you have to see his rationalization. Like, when you hear his rationalization for why he didn't tell her this one thing, first of all, the man's gone through some trauma. I understand she's gone through a lot of trauma, too, like what she's going through in the book as well. But let me tell you, honestly, I'm not one to compare trauma. But I think he has you beat. I really do. Like, you gotta cut him a little bit of slack because he's done nothing but prove to you that, like, he loves you and that he wants you and that you can trust him. And then you're just gonna go and do that because of this one little thing that he didn't tell you. And he told you exactly why he didn't tell you, because he knew it would lead to this. I'm actually so mad at her. I'm so mad at her. Anyways, I'm going to keep reading so that I can finish this book because I want it to be done by tomorrow morning or something. I'm not having a good time. I am, but I'm not at the same time, okay? I am having a good time, but also not a good time.
Good morning, you guys. It's the next day, and I'm on a mission this morning, okay? I'm on a mission. I have to finish this book, okay? I have to finish it. I am 83% of the way through. I am on page 359, and there's only 428 pages in this book, okay? I'm almost there. We're almost at the finish line, okay? So I am on a mission to finish it this morning. Since I've last updated you, we've hit another 6 month time jump. Again, to say I'm scared is an understatement. Because what possibly could happen? I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna read. We're just gonna hope for the best. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 if you count the epilogue, chapters left. So pray for me. She has me panicking, like, insanely. Like, I'm actually panicking. Why is she gonna do this to me? Why is she doing this? Why did I do this to myself? 9:30 in the morning. Why am I really bawling my eyes out? Okay, I'm just gonna finish this and not keep crying on camera because that's annoying. I hate when other people do that, so I'm gonna stop doing it. Even though I have good reason, okay? Even though I'm actually gutted. Okay. I finished. My face is like dried with tears. Very, you know, sad. I'm just gonna leave it off there. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to review this book right now. Maybe in a little bit I will come back and figure it out. I overall did not have a good time, but not in the worst way, if that makes sense. Like, I knew it was gonna be sad, but I am a shell. That really wrecked me. And it's only 10 o'clock. So, yeah. Okay, you guys, I think I'm finally emotionally stable enough to talk about these two books. Let's go with The Last Letter, obviously, because I never actually got to speak on it because I was so distraught. Overall, I want to say I did really enjoy this, okay? So, like, yes, did I not have a good time? That is also true, because it emotionally wrecked me. Not that the book wasn't good. The book, I actually thought, like, it's so Rebecca Yarros, if that makes sense. Like, the way her writing is and her style of writing and the way that she tells a story is just so her and so, like, captivating. Like, I genuinely enjoyed like learning about the couple and learning about their pasts and like how they're going to be brought together and stuff like that. And I assume, obviously, because Rebecca Yarros comes from a military family, that this is, I don't want to say like so accurate, but like she obviously has more experience than I do when it comes to someone like with military background, military family, on like how something like this would play out. Obviously, it is so sad. Check trigger warnings, okay? Because I don't think she put any in the front of this book because it wasn't on Kindle. Yeah, definitely check trigger warnings. There is none in the beginning of the book. This story literally just like showed like how this one woman literally got the shortest straw in the stack, okay? Just like her entire life, to see her like persevere and like really overcome all these obstacles, like showing how strong she is while feeling like she's being beaten down like constantly, is so like true to like the way Rebecca writes her female main characters. I mean, granted, I've only ever read Fourth Wing to really come to that conclusion, but I can just tell the way that she writes all of her female main characters, they're also strong even when they're being beaten down. And like, I just really loved that in the character, because granted, I wouldn't say there's like much for character development, but just to like showcase like how strong this character actually is which I definitely loved. And then the man in this book, absolutely amazing. I loved him. He was a genuine like good guy who thought he wasn't like a good guy. Again, I loved because that led for a lot of character development as well within him, you know, trying to be the best he could be for this woman that he loves. And yeah, I don't want to like say too much about it or talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But overall, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. It's so heartbreaking. This definitely destroyed me. I have never sobbed so hard. Like, you saw me sobbing. I have never actually sobbed so hard from a book. Okay, I want you guys to know that I am actually deeply embarrassed that I got that on camera. Am I gonna cut it out? No, but highly recommend, okay? I mean, it's gonna tear you up. It's gonna rip your heart out. I really thought I was gonna be one of the strong ones because we were getting through this book and I knew it was sad. But then you get to that last 10% and she tears into you, okay? I really did not think this was gonna make me cry because I was like, well, like, why? Like, it's sad, but like, I don't think I'm gonna cry. Like, if anything, I maybe shed like maybe 1 or 2 tears for what I thought was gonna happen. No, she actually destroyed me. So, love that. Never by Jessa Hastings. I know I talked about this, so I don't want to go on too long about it, but I kind of just wanted to like, after sitting on it for a little bit, it got to give you a few more thoughts. I am excited that this is going to be a series because I obviously have to like kind of see where everything goes into it. I'm just like I'm still so conflicted on like my feelings towards the book. Like, I genuinely enjoyed reading it. Like, it literally like brought me into the story, brought me into Neverland, and I absolutely loved every single second of it. It was just more of like the toxic relationship aspect that I felt like we kept getting lost in the plot and stuff. Like, I felt like we kept alluding to these really, really big things, but then also she was in these two immensely toxic relationships with men in this like literally like magical fantasy land, and she keeps making all of these like bad decisions, and I'm like, girly, and I get it because she doesn't like she's brought to this foreign land by some man child, like doesn't even know what to do. She's hardly out of that like child phase herself of being, you know, a 17-18-year-old girl trying to like really like knowing what she wants to do with her life, but then like, wow, I love this place and I don't know if I could give it up, you know? So it's just like all this stuff of like being conflicted, of like not knowing what to do in every single scenario, which kind of frustrates me, but like makes sense, I guess, for the overall plot of the series, if there is going to be a whole series. But yeah, I felt like the last thing was that we kept getting lost within the toxic relationship with the love triangle that was going on in here, and kind of losing bits of the plot, where I felt like bits of the plot were like necessary because she'd bring things up and then like I never got the answers for it. And I'm like, unless I just missed it, which I don't think I did, there was like answers to things in the plot that I never got, and which I assume will be answered in later ones. But it kind of just like frustrated me a little bit because I was like, okay, like this would have been good to know, or like gotten an answer to, or even like being alluded to an answer in like another book type of thing. So kind of crazy. I actually ended up rating both of these books 4 stars, which is wild because this was literally the lowest rated book on my TBR, and this was the highest rated book on my TBR. This one was almost at a 5 stars. I think this was at like a 4.5 overall stars. This one I know had a lot of reviews too, but this one was at like a 3.2 or something like that, I think, and I ended up really enjoying it. So yeah, that is me reading my highest rated and lowest rated books on my TBR. Crazy, insane. I really had high hopes for this video, and honestly it kind of went the way I expected. I really thought I was going to enjoy both of these books, and guess what? I did. Like I said, I am a little biased with this one. I don't think this is going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I am super biased because I love the original story of Peter Pan as well as like the Disney movie. Like I keep saying, like I'm very, very biased in this department, so I want you guys to really take that into consideration. You maybe want to read this book. I obviously do recommend it, but like I said, I enjoyed it so much because I am such a fan of Peter Pan as a whole. That is everything I'm going to talk about. I need to wrap up this video because let me tell you, I bet you it's really long. For reading only 2 books in this video, I bet you it's really long. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias as well as subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.